Battlefront launches and controversy. Name a more iconic duo. I can't believe we're here again with a horrific Star Wars Battlefront launch. This franchise really is cursed, and it kind of feels like I really did pick a bad franchise to base my channel around. But on that note, I want to give a huge thank you to all of you who watched my videos the last week. We actually passed 200,000 subscribers yesterday and almost 200,000 views on my latest video too, which is incredible, so I thank you all for that. Even if obviously waking up today and seeing all the stuff about Battlefront Classic Collection wasn't really the best feeling, because I covered some of these issues in my review and thought maybe they're gonna fix it. Well, they didn't. It actually kind of got worse. When I did my live stream yesterday, I found a ton of new bugs, and if you just go to social media right now, you will see things like this. Aspire is under fire over the disastrous launch of the highly anticipated Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, which is plagued with server issues, bugs, and more, and other similar titles from other media outlets. On Steam, you will see that the reviews are mostly negative, and that really isn't a surprise considering the state that it's launched in. All of this is just a huge disappointment, because I think, for me, I kind of expected all the bugs that were in the original games to still be there, as Aspire does not really have the best reputation for putting high effort into the re-releases, but the fact that it would launch at a state that was basically worse than the originals, I didn't expect that. It's 20 years, it shouldn't have to be that way. So if we start off with the biggest issue of them all, it's the state of the multiplayer. In my review, you saw that the FPS was capped to 30 FPS pretty much all times, and it was just an absolute lag fest. When I did some testing today, it seems like the FPS issue is sort of resolved if you play on the official servers or some of the custom servers, but the problem is that there are so many other issues. The netcode is absolute dog shit, to be honest, and sure, the netcode in the original games wasn't that good, but I figured in 2024 you would be able to get an at least enjoyable experience, but no, it is really bad. It feels like most of the hits aren't registering at all, and my expectations were honestly higher than this, and this doesn't even seem like it was bad compared to some of the other clips I've seen from people where they basically just rubber band around the map, and it's not just that the hits aren't registering, it's just an absolute lag fest, to say the least. But there are so many other issues. If you go to these official servers, which are like the only good way to play on multiplayer right now, the matches end in like 3 minutes. I don't even know why, but I joined multiple games and I was like, wait, what? The game is already over? We've been in here for like 3 minutes. It doesn't make any sense. And sometimes you cannot respawn, and it seems like you have to swap team to solve that. In some games, you can't even pick one of the teams, meaning that the game doesn't even kick off. There are so many issues that feels like they just never tested this. And that's what makes me the most frustrated. Bugs that might not be super easy to find, or something that the community finds after a while, that's okay. I mean, there's millions of us and maybe a handful of developers. But the fact that those of us who had early access could literally launch up the game and find these issues in 30 minutes of game time makes it feel like, did they even test this game? Did they even bother to do any of this correctly? Like I even mentioned in my video yesterday, I hope they will roll out more servers because this is way too few. Did they do that? No, they didn't. It seems like today, just to be clear, they did open up some more official servers, but the fact that no one even thought that, oh, maybe we're gonna have more than 200 players on launch on PC just makes absolutely no sense. And again, I'm just scratching the surface here with the multiplayer, but I want to mention that one of the biggest issues now, even after it seems like they have sort of fixed the FPS, the netcode is still crap, but you're still locked to 30 FPS or even lower when you are hosting the games, meaning that playing actual private matches is kind of just out of the question. The only way to actually play multiplayer right now is through the official servers, where we can't control the settings and they end quickly, and there's a bunch of other random ass shit that I mentioned earlier in the video. Someone actually figured out that there is a way to fix the FPS when you are hosting on PC. If you go to Steam and type in /TPS 120 or 60 for the launch options, it works. But should that really be necessary? First of all, well, Xbox, PlayStation and Switch, you're fucked. You can't do that. On Steam, how many people are actually gonna figure this out, and how many people are just gonna try to start up a server, lag like crazy and give up, and then join the official servers, which are then also really, really bad. What I don't understand is that Battlefront 1 seems to work really well. I did some testing yesterday with Luke from 100% Star Wars. I hosted, he hosted, we did it with 64 AI and with no AI. And we all got like superb FPS and honestly pretty good netcode too. I mean, sure, it wasn't 100% accurate, but it felt basically like the originals did, whereas the Battlefront 2 multiplayer seems to be in a much worse state. And again, I've mostly been talking about multiplayer, but we've got some other huge things, and one thing that I just am baffled that it's gone: the cutscenes for the 501st journals. Half of them are completely omitted from the game, because before every mission you get one cutscene, and after you get another cutscene. For those of you who have played the game before, you know that the actual gameplay and the missions, they're fun, but that's not really where the story is at. The story is in the cutscenes narrated by Tamura Morrison, meaning that if you just cut away 50% of them, I would argue that you pretty much cut away 50% of the story of the Battlefront 2 campaign. And this is just another huge oversight, so you can't even say, oh well, if you don't want multiplayer, you can buy it for the single player. And I actually had a bunch of viewers yesterday who was gonna play it for the first time and who were obviously excited to play the campaign, but I would honestly say, don't buy the game now. If you want to play for the campaign, don't buy the game until they hopefully fix this, because you're gonna miss out on half of the story and some of the things that made the 501st really cool, since it takes an alternate timeline to what we saw in the Clone Wars with the clones and the inhibitor chips. But no, you're gonna miss out on that. But other than that, there are just so many other random bugs in the game. Like for me, I've had these random crashes. Alright, let's see. I'm just gonna bypass this and bypass the because we've already seen this. I just played Rebels in space, and the stuttering is never happening in the game, it seems like, but it's like in the menu and stuff. Okay, now I don't know if fucking know what's going on. Oh, this game it's like getting worse the more I play it. What the fuck is going on? Did the game just crash? And a ton of stutters in the menu, which I really can't figure out. A lot of people are complaining about random audio bugs too, and I did get something like that yesterday. What the fuck was that? Why is there so much weird audio things going on with this game too? I know it might not have sounded too loud, but that's because I lowered the actual audio for the stream, but that felt like it was literally gonna break my headset or ears, and it just popped up out of the blue for no reason. And I've had multiple of those just random ass sounds coming out of nowhere. Sensitivity issues. People are complaining that the controller sensitivity isn't working properly, neither on consoles or on PC, and I ran into a really weird issue yesterday where when I was flying in the campaign, my sensitivity suddenly got extremely low. Someone suggested it had something to do with the high FPS, but even if that's the case, that's still a huge bug. It might look a little bit suspicious here, but what I'm doing is basically I'm moving my mouse in literally 1 meter increments on my mouse pad, and still my ship is barely moving. But when I restarted the game, it worked. So another completely random bug. And then we have all the small stuff like the Battlefront 1 loading screen having the wrong audio, the font is wrong in the menus, apparently the game doesn't have proper dead zones either, and there are these kind of graphical glitches on the PlayStation 5. The list goes on, and it makes me so annoyed to see that Aspyr don't really seem to care. So is there any light at the end of the tunnel? Well, I think it's good that everyone is making noise about this, because that's the only way they're gonna react. That's how they fixed the original Battlefront 2 game. And obviously they have booted up a couple of more official servers. It seems like the FPS issue is kind of fixed if you are not the host. So they are doing something, even if it might just be one good guy developer sitting there trying to fix this entire dumpster fire. It shows that they at least monitor it to some degree, but there are so many bugs and so many major things that they really need to fix, and I would imagine that things such as the missing cutscenes will require an actual downloadable patch and not just some server-side changes. So are they gonna release a patch? Well, they better, because it would be so sad if the game is left in this kind of sad state, to be completely honest. It also seems like there has been a lot of people refunding the game already because of these issues, and honestly, I don't blame people. Like yesterday, I got called both a shill and a hater, because some people think I need to be only positive and some people think I need to be only negative. I really don't understand that point of view, as I've always tried to be balanced in my content. I will talk about the good stuff, I will talk about the bad stuff. Even though this video in particular are obviously focused mostly on the bad stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm still enjoying playing the game. If I play some offline instant action, I'm gonna have a great time. But that doesn't mean I'm happy with this launch. If they just patch the majority of these things, like fixing the Battlefront 2 multiplayer, fixing the cutscenes, and some of the major things like the sensitivity issues, I still think it's gonna be a solid launch, because I think a lot of the other issues might have to do with how the original game simply worked. It's not gonna be perfect, it's not gonna be what I expected, and it is gonna be lazy no matter what, because it means they just didn't bother to fix any of the old stuff. They basically kept all of the bad stuff that were in the originals and added more bad stuff to it, if that makes sense. But nevertheless, if they fix those major issues, it's still gonna be playable, it's still gonna be fun. But I can genuinely say that when I tried multiple servers today in the Battlefront 2 multiplayer, I just felt like I don't want to play this anymore. I will play Galactic Conquest, I will play Instant Action, but I will not hop back into multiplayer because I simply did not have a good time. Oh well, like I said earlier, I really appreciate your support. I will continue to cover this release. Hopefully I will have some patch videos to make in the near future when Aspire hopefully fixes most of these issues. I also want to do some more fun videos like Easter eggs and things you might not know about the game, so it's not just gonna be negative. But as for right now, I really had to do some ranting. And if you guys think I'm being too negative, feel free to dislike the video. Same thing if you think I'm being too positive. Dislike the video. That's the easiest way I can see if you guys don't enjoy my content. But like I said, I always try to be balanced and be as informative as possible. Nevertheless, I appreciate you all watching. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the force be with you.
You